Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot welcoming you to part 3 of our look at the brand new Dinosaurs of the Secrets of Dr. Wu DLC. And today we're going to look at our very first hybrid, the Ankylodocus, a fusion of the Ankylosaurus and the Diplodocus. Again, I'm not going to spoil how it comes into the story, but we're going to look at all 6 skins that there are for this dinosaur, and we're going to look at the stats and also how it might stack up against a particular carnivore. A little bit more about that later on. So first of all, let's just release the dinosaur, have a look at it in our games, and also feed it, because I definitely forgot to put a feeder in. And there it is. Now, those of you who've seen my other videos know this is not my favourite dinosaur. Mainly because of the face. I think the body's a little bit too spiky, but if we hit into Ansel mode here and zoom in on the face, it's the eyes and the mouth. I'm not a big fan, but I have not seen the alternate skins for this dinosaur, so who knows where we will end up. Maybe some of them will convince me that this is actually a dinosaur not to hate. But there we go, there's a close look at the Ankylodocus. We'll take a quick look at the body via Ansel. So we've got the club at the bottom, the club tail at the right at the end, I should say, of this huge Diplodocus tail, that big old club. All the Diplodocus spikes are still there, but it's gained some new ones, these armoured plated spikes at the side, and of course the Ankylosaurus sort of head spike horny things. It's an odd looking dinosaur. The body's okay, it kind of looks Shunosaurus-esque, and some people have questioned why they didn't just add that to the game, but hey, let's meet the other skins anyway and see just where we end up. So the second skin is going to be the Alpine Pattern. Now I've got to say, I may still not like the head, but I think it looks substantially better with this skin. This is a really nice skin. The texturing is fantastic. That little smattering of blue, which I initially thought was maybe just a reflection of the sky, but is actually part of the skin, I think looks really, really good. This is a huge step above the default, which suffers just from having basically a Patasaurus-esque colouring with that very bland grey. This is a nice looking dinosaur in a lot of ways, if you just put your hand over the face. But still, I am leaning, you know, it's convincing me, We've got 4 more skins, so maybe they'll get even better. This is the Tundra Pattern. So there is the Tundra Pattern, definitely sort of going in that sort of grey mossy sort of direction. Again, I think a big step up over the original. Am I the only one who found the goat running across surprisingly funny? I actually had to stop myself laughing in the middle of the video. For some reason, it was hilarious. Oh god, right, so there they are all together. They look, from a distance, I've got to say, it's growing on me a little bit. I think it looks really cool from here. As long as you're not zooming on the face, I think it's an alright looking little dinosaur. It kind of looks like a normal dinosaur other than the club tail from a distance, so maybe that's why. It's quite hard to differentiate from the regular old Diplodocus in a lot of ways from a decent distance. Anyways, number 4 on our list is the step pattern. I don't know how well you're hearing this, but these things are making a terrifying noise. It's like a baby crying in the distance. But again, another great skin, probably second for me behind this lovely one over here. One thing I really like about all 4 of these skins, or at least these 3 new ones, is that the colouring really does reflect the environment that we've come to expect. The step one is brown, earthy tones. The Alpine is the mossy... Wait, which one's the Alpine? The Alpine's the sort of the grey and cold colours, and this one over here, which I can't click on because it's hiding, the Tundra one has the greys and stuff like that. I think the Tundra is based on an iguana? I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Anyways, moving on, 2 more skins to go still. Number 5 on our list is the arid pattern, so we're expecting some pale, earthy colours here. There they are. And there's a tail. Oh, hello. Again, I think the colouring and the texturing look really nice, and to an extent, I think I prefer this pattern. You can see the difference between these two here, where in the belly, it's just basically less... The pattern is a little less intense. That noise is terrifying. The pattern is a little bit more faded, the belly's more sort of clear, the pattern doesn't extend that far down the tail. It's a little bit more realistic looking. Again, I feel like if the eyes weren't this bizarre, vivid blue, I would be more sold on the dinosaur, but still, I think that's a really big improvement. All of them are over the default. Some really nice skins and colourings, I'm really impressed. This one is lovely, really, just that juxtaposition between the deep, dark, reddy browns and that sort of light creamy colour looks really cool. But we still have another one to go, folks! One more Ankylodocus, the Costal Pattern. And yes, the game calls it an Ankylodocus. I'm going to stick to calling it Ankylodocus. I think because it's a made-up dinosaur, you can go with whichever one you want, basically. I thought it might be the goat, but it's definitely the dinosaur. It's making this noise. I'm going to try to replicate it with my own mouth, okay? It's like a... It's absolutely absolutely terrifying. This is one edgy dinosaur. This is a dinosaur with mascara running down its back. Not my favourite. I think, like with the default one, the grey doesn't really suit it, and these sort of more earthy, brighter colours make the dinosaur look a little less weird. So this slightly emo looking one probably isn't my favourite of the bunch, but I've got to say, over the last 10 minutes or so, my love for the dinosaur has definitely grown more than it had. It's not my favourite, it's probably never going to be my favourite, but I really like some of these skins. Which one in particular? This one in particular is one of my favourites. I really like that blue on the back, and I wish a few more had maybe chucked in a bit of extra colour there as well. Now, before we go, I just want to show you something. If we go onto the Ankylodocus page, you can see it's got attack 70, but interestingly, defense 102. Now that makes a lot of sense because it's got Ankylosaurus DNA, and the Ankylosaurus is a very defensive dinosaur. But typically, sauropods in this game have 0 defense. The Apatosaurus, 0 defense. The Brachiosaurus, 0 defense. The Camarasaurus, 0 defense. The Ankylodocus, even unmodified, has 102. So that got me thinking, is there a chance that the Ankylodocus, given these massive defensive stats, is impervious to the only dinosaur in the game that can kill sauropods, the Indominus Rex? To find out, we're going to release an Indominus Rex into our little Ankylodocus paddock here. I'm going to leave it for a little while, and I'm just going to see if it kills one, basically. Now, the attack stat of this Indominus is still higher than the defense stat of the Ankylodocus, but it's just an interesting little test, and if, at the very least, we get to see one killed. It's also been so long since I just made a default Indominus Rex that it's quite nice to see the original colouring come to life. So, I will skip forward, let's see if it kills one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, at the very least, the Indominus Rex can take down the default Ankylodocus. Now, whether increasing the defensive stats so high that doesn't happen is a thing or not is another matter, but the point is that doesn't matter because every sauropod can theoretically do the same. Just before we go, quick look at the stats of the dinosaur for those of you at home who will be curious. Ideal population is 0 to 14, social group is only 1 to 2. Now, you can change that in the DLC. I'm going to have videos talking about that down the line, and of course you'll see that in my playthrough of the game, and you'll see yourselves when you play the DLC. Alright then, you'll see yourselves when you play the DLC for yourselves, but the default social group is really small, which makes a lot of sense because the Ankylosaurus is quite a finicky dinosaur in general. But still, there we go, Ankylodocus, ladies and gentlemen, a great looking dinosaur. I can't believe I just said those words, but I've been convinced by a couple of the skins. If you just ignore the face, I do quite like it. We will be back in 1 hour with the Stegoceratops. Until then, thank you so much for joining me. If you're enjoying this little series of videos, please do hit that like button and remember to subscribe because this week is going to be chock-a-block with DLC content. Cheers, much love, as always. Bye-bye. Quick little shout out at the end. This video and others like it would not be possible at all without the support of you guys watching me at home and also everyone on this Patreon page right here who supported me in the last month. If you want to help out as well, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. Every little really helps. Cheers.